Hey guys, how's it going? This is Dave and welcome to a new episode of Jumpstart. Now what you just saw were enemies from the Muka Tribe, and these are new guys that we've added into the game for you to use in your own levels, and they're really cool. They add a new combat element into the game, a little bit more challenge, and you can customize them in a lot of different ways, and it just adds a little more life and movement to your levels, which is always fun. So these guys are part of Update 11, which we tried to release this week in an auto update in the game, but it didn't quite work according to plan, so we took it down. We're taking a closer look and trying to fix that, and hopefully early next to mid next week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday of next week, we should have an auto update in the game. So when you first fire up Atmosphir, you'll see a little dialog box that says, hey, do you want to update from version number 10 to version number 11? You'll say yes, it'll download all the new stuff, and you'll automatically have all the latest enemies and new stuff we've added into the game. Now some of you guys were a little over anxious and wanted to get your hands on this right away, so we've actually uploaded a full new version of the game, which you can download from the private beta site, and you've got the information for that in your beta email when you first signed up. So in addition to, but most people, you should wait until next Tuesday or Wednesday, because that's when the auto update will come out and you don't have to re-download the game or anything like that, which can get a little frustrating. You probably, if you've been with us since the beginning, you've probably downloaded the game like 5 or 6 times, so I know that can be a little crazy. It's frustrating to me too. And in addition to this, so in addition to the enemies, we've also got some new gameplay modes which you can actually mix up and create new rules to your levels. So we've always had find the finish flag to beat the level, or beat the score, collect a certain number of treasures to beat the level. But now we also have a few new modes, and you can mix these modes together to create specific win scenarios for your levels, which is kind of cool. So we have a new survival mode where you have to survive until the time limit runs out. So when the clock reaches 0, you still have to be alive. So you can create these big arenas with all these enemies and having to survive until time runs out. A defeat enemies mode where you have to defeat a certain number of enemies set in the rulebook to actually beat the level, as well as a defeat boss mode where each enemy has a little indicator in their properties that says, is this a boss or not? And if you click that, that's a boss character, and you can set to have a certain number of boss characters need to be defeated before you beat the level. So a lot, excuse me, a lot of cool additions. And what's cool about this is you can mix and match all of these. So you could have a find the finish flag plus defeat enemies, or survival mode plus beat the score, and mix these all up and check as many as you want to create some really creative gameplay scenarios. So looking forward to seeing what everyone creates with all that stuff. So let's move on to the BlockArt09 Design Challenge results. It was about 5 or 6 months ago where we had our last BlockArt challenge, and it's amazing to see how far the levels have progressed since then. These levels were in a completely different league, and we had some absolutely great additions this time around. So what we did is we came up with a top 10 list, and this is based on your votes in the forums, your star rankings and plays in the actual game, as well as our moderators' votes and our own votes here at Miner Studios. And here's what we came up with, our top 10 list for the BlockArt09 Design Challenge. At number 10, we've got Atmosphir Player by Detective Square. Big Drip thought this was an awesome concept that threw his brain through a loop when he realized what it was. He loved the end where the comet power-up lets you fly through the window, fly through the game actually, into Atmosphir. Amethyst thought this was a simple but good block art level with a nice little story behind it. And Chillin' Guy said, this looked awesome, the player was huge, and it felt like the guy was in a cramped room, but it was a lot of fun to explore. At number 9, we've got Future City by Fableboy. Jack Rackham thought this was a well-rounded level and a good concept. Munchie365 thought it was great to explore around in. And Hakobo said it was an absolutely amazing city, and it was one of the coolest looking areas he'd seen so far. And number 8 was Guitar Hero by Munchie365. This is a cool concept. It's using the Guitar Hero falling notes as moving platforms which you have to jump on to make your way to the finish flag. It's a very cool concept. And Tamlu agreed and said, I never thought a concept like this would work for this type of level, but Munchie showed us a really good idea here. At number 7, we've got Alma Wade from Fear by Memphis10. Stolen ID thought this was really cool to climb up and also had a really challenging difficulty level. And Chilling Guy said this was huge, the atmosphere of the level was very scary, and the fact that Alma was so big made you want to climb to the top and see her face at the top. At number 6, we've got Bullet Bill by Stolen ID. Alex Gurr said, I love Super Mario, so this gets my vote. Hakobo said this was absolutely fantastic block art with a colorful and fun level lying beneath it. And Pizza Boy said he was expecting a Bullet Bill, but he was so happy when he got Mario and Yoshi in the level as well. Coming in at number 5 is Car Chase by Chillin' Guy. Jack Rackham loved it because it was a good block art and it really felt like you were frozen in time. Amethyst said it was easy, but it was fun to run and jump at a high speed around the block art. And Alex Gurr said big cars are cool. Yes, they are. At number 4, we've got Solar System Exploration by Thunder7102. Scary 101 said this was amazing. It felt like you were just in outer space. Stolen ID said this was the first time he really found a useful use of the Comet power-up. And Alex Gurr said, I tell the truth when I say this is the best freaking level of all time. But tell us how you really feel, Alex Gurr. Number 3, Galaga by Bender. Stolen AD said this was maybe the hardest map in the contest, but at the same time it was nice to look at and play through. Munchie365 thought this had great use of the color pack. And Hakobo said, I love seeing a classic coming through in Atmosphir. This level was a fun challenge and it looked amazing. At number 2, we've got Temple of the Spider Queen by Big Drip 681. Tam Lu said this level had the biggest challenge he'd ever played. He spent about 45 minutes on this level and gave it an 11 out of 10. Munchie365 said all the toxic colors and the creepy sounds in the background go together perfectly to bring about an eerie, dark mood. Blunty loved the diversity and the retro style Big Drip has used yet again. Hakobo said this was the absolute most amazing piece of block art he had ever seen, but what he really thought made it great was that it was actually a playable and fun level. At number 1 is Mario's Treasure Box by Amethyst. Big Drip thought this had amazing level design, wonderful block art, tons of puzzles, challenges, and traps, and decided it was his number 1 pick. He said, awesome job, Amethyst. Razor343 thought this was really fun to run around in and kill off enemies while looking at some very well-made Mario objects. Chillin' Guy said this level made him smile. Everything inside the box was so creative and cute. And he said the gameplay was a lot of fun too and loved how all the jump power-ups were placed throughout the level. And Hakobo said this wasn't just another Mario level, it had a unique twist to it and that made it a lot of fun. So congratulations to all the BlockArt09 Design Challenge winners, and you can search for any of these levels by searching for BlockArt09 as one word in the Play browser. You'll be able to play any of those levels you just saw as well as tons of other really cool levels that people have made. Now for our next challenge, we asked you guys in the forums what you wanted to do. We put it up to a vote, and it was very close between 2 special topics. So close, in fact, that we're going to make April the first dual design challenge month. So you can participate in both or just one of these challenges, but it's going to be for the entire month of April. You have time to work on both of them. So first off is the Video Game 09 Design Challenge. And the idea behind this is you want to take a video game level or scenario and remake it in the style of Atmosphir. A great example of this, one of my favorite examples, is by our contest winner this time, Bomb on Battlefield by Amethyst. Check out that level. It's a great interpretation of the classic Mario 64 level, and she does a lot of creative things like the cannons or moving platforms that catapult you into the air, and great use of the cages and the ramps to create hills. Is very well done, and that's the type of thing we're looking for, a unique interpretation, not a pixel by pixel recreation of a game, but something that's inspired by it and takes on its own life and atmosphere. And then for Combat 09, we just gave you all the enemies and the new game modes, so this is a great time to experiment and try to make the best combat-focused level possible. Anyone can throw a bunch of enemies into a level and try to make something hard, but what's going to really set you apart is if you do something creative with it and come up with creative combat scenarios for people to play through. So that tag is Combat 09. So you can, again, participate in whichever one of these you want, or both of them, and the deadline is the end of April, April 30th. So make sure to just add the tag at the end of your level, Video Game 09 or Combat 09, and we'll be looking forward to checking those out and announcing top 10 lists for a future Jumpstart episode. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks guys so much for watching. Again, look out for update 11 coming out next week, and have a great weekend. Take care.